you find out that you had meso? What was your beginning?
My beginning was, go back 2001, so go back 10 years before 2001, and in that 10 years I got very, very heavy chronic fatigue. I was diagnosed all the time with this unexplained extreme tiredness. And when I was finally diagnosed in 2001, and it was just a wait and see, and then 2003 they actually said I had peritoneal mesothelioma, and I had surgery and to take out a massive tumours for stomach, abdomen and diaphragm, and then chemo after that. And strange to say, the fatigue went after that. So it was basically the asbestos that was growing inside was giving me this terrible chronic fatigue for 10 years.
What was your exposure to asbestos?
At least 2 exposures. One was with my father coming home from working in the building trade and helping Mum to shake out his overalls and the hankies that you wore on your head like as hats. You'd undo the knots and you'd shake them out, and vacuuming his car and the dust sort of coming up from the vacuum cleaner that actually had asbestos in it. And then my first job was in the 70s and in the health department, and that building had at least 4 times the amount of legal asbestos at the time in the ceilings. So both exposures.
And what have you been able to, how have you been able to cope with your health challenges?
My attitude is when something presents itself, I deal with it. If I feel there's a pain or something that I think's not right, I contact my oncologist, and we have PET scans and X-rays and blood tests. And he says, well, Louise, there's something here, and I'm happy to know then that, you know, once I know what I'm up against, I can deal with it and get on with my life.
And so what is it, how are you getting on with your life?
I live in the moment. I believe that's very important for when we're living with meso. Carry on normally with my husband Keith and normal day-to-day life, and we go out and we have coffee in the morning, and we might, who knows what happens, and I'm very involved in Bernie Banton Foundation with awareness and support and advocacy, and particularly on Facebook and face-to-face with other sufferers, shall we say, their carers, their families. I heavily support them. Phone contact, direct contact, and then plus we plan trips. We go on trips. The end of last year, we went back to Nice, to Brussels and Nice, and this already I have a trip planned in the end of next month for Greens Beach, which is in Tasmania, and it's a beautiful, Greens Beach is a beautiful place with lots of lovely walking along the beach, and it's like a retreat, and I don't know, I guess I just live in the moment.
What has been the impact of meso on your children?
Particularly with their grandfather and my father dying of pleural meso in 1985, and then with me getting both peritoneal and pleural meso, they're quite scared actually. And the longer I live, strange to say, it's almost like a false alarm when things happen. They can't quite believe that I'm going to die one day, because somehow I make a recovery and I'm still around.
Defying all the odds. So There's been a lot of advancement over the last 20 years on how they treat meso. Has that helped you?
Basically, I'd have to say that there's been an advancement, thank goodness, in palliative care. No one should ever have to be in pain with this cancer. However, as for medical advancements, unfortunately there really hasn't been any breakthrough with this because it's such a tough cancer to crack. It's a very hard cancer to do research and to actually find answers for.
Do you think that because your grandfather had
My father.
Your father, and then you have had it. Anybody else in your family?
No. My mother, at the age of 64, got Alzheimer's, which was very rapid, and there is a link with asbestos exposure to Alzheimer's dementia.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Okay.
So perhaps it could be from that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I continue to hope that there's a genetic marker that they can find that would help sort out why one person would get it and another person equally exposed doesn't get it.
Yeah, I hope so, but I can't see as I was saying, that because it's such a hard cancer, like the fact that it's like barbed wire inside you, and it goes like a concrete and gradually crushes all of the organs. It's so hard to find research to a breakthrough in a medical, I can't think of the right name, medical breakthrough.
Now, in Australia, you've had Matt Peacock's book and then the television series. And so how has that helped to raise awareness in Australia?
At the time when the shows are actually in the book and it's in the media, it's fantastic for awareness. However, people tend to forget. Unfortunately, the general public, they think about asbestos and they think about James Hardy and they think, oh, what asbestos? Because they can't see it. And it tends to fade away in the minds of the general public, unfortunately. So that's why we need to continue with awareness and support and educate everyone.
You have such a progressive Prime Minister now. What would you like her to know? What would you like her to do?
Julia Gillard, I would like her to heavily subsidise the removal and disposal of asbestos, because until we have that in Australia, we will have many, many more people being diagnosed eventually with an asbestos-related disease, because the cost of removal and I can't remember the word, what was it? Sorry.
Remediation?
No, removal and when you take it to the tip, removal and I've lost it. Disposal, thank you. Yeah, when removal and disposal is, until it's heavily subsidised, people will continue to do their own home renovations just to save money, and the fly-by-nighters that do remove the asbestos will continue just to dump it illegally because they have to pay for dumping it. They're very expensive to do this. So, Julia, I would ask you to please think about government subsidies for everyone, because we need to get rid of asbestos.
Sure, if the government would just take on just the expense of the disposal.
That's right.
So that you're not penalized for it.
Yeah.
We have that here with tires. It's like It costs $5 to take a tire to the dump, so they get dumped on the side of the road.
Yeah.
You know, it's like.
Yeah, same with
It costs $30 to have somebody pick it up, but go put it to, you know.
yeah, same with even a mattress. You know, it's $50 to take it to the dump. So why would someone do that? You know, most people will just dump it on the side of the road and yeah, things like that. Yeah.
Oh, how has ADAO and Linda impacted your journey?
She's been like a lifeline.
And I'm not here, so just start
she's
with ADAO.
ADAO and Linda Rhinestone have been like a lifeline to me and to all the mesothelioma warriors around the world. I think coming to this conference is a very special moment in my life. It's brought all of us, it's created unity, and Linda is that very special person that has the knack to be able to bring everyone together.
How did you find out about ADAO?
Once again through social media, being on Facebook, Debbie Brewer, Mavis, Nye, Jan, and everyone, and all of a sudden Linda popped up and we became friends, and we've been friends ever since. And I've been aware of, I love Linda's postings on Sundays with the banning of asbestos and the quotes, because I have many petitions going in Australia with banning of global asbestos and various things. I just am very passionate about that.
What would you like to say to Debbie Brewer, one of my other favorites?
Debbie Brewer, you are priceless. You are such a beautiful person, and it really shines through on Facebook with everyone around the world. We love you, Debbie.
Okay, I will post that. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would just like to say that I've never got angry with having this cancer, because I just feel you can't change it. So what do you do? Because if you got angry, you might as well just wilt and die. So I just feel that you just live with it and you get on with life. And in the meantime, if I can help prevent someone else from getting it, I think I'm glad I'm here. And I just think I've lost it. What was the question? Sorry. Sorry.
You were doing a great job.
Sorry.
Just, you know,
what would
you were just making a statement about how you can make a contribution.
Right. How would I make a contribution? I'm getting tired, sorry.
What would you like your children to do? How would you like your children to take this kind of life lesson? And how many children do you have?
I have 2 and then 4 stepkids and 11 grandkids and all that stuff.
11 grandkids.
4 grandkids and 7 step and 2 step great. Yeah, so. With my children, I would just like for them to remember that life is for living. And no matter how long we have on this earth, it's enjoy every moment, because that's all we've all got. And I would just like to say my motto is, there is no safe asbestos. All asbestos kills. And we need to keep on uniting, keep on becoming a worldwide group, focus, if you like, on eradicating asbestos, because we don't want our future generations being affected by asbestos. And it's so heartbreaking for every family.